Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, and I would like to welcome all of you for this class called as the Bhakti Ladder Meetup, which we have every Monday, where we discuss miscellaneous topics related to Krishna consciousness. And today's topic is um, what is the necessity for having a spiritual life? What is the necessity, or what is the purpose, or what is the goal for having a spiritual life, and what is the self-realization all about? So let's go deep into self-realization. So type SR in the chat, self-realization. Okay, so we will see what is this whole business of self-realization. We all understand that we need to have a career, we need to get married, that's dharma. We need to do our moral duties, that's also dharma. We all understand that we need to accumulate money for future, that is artha, because for the tomorrow, right, for the next winter, for the difficult days, we want to save money, and everybody understands that, that's artha. And we all understand that after working very hard, we want to enjoy ourselves, because the reason why we are earning so hard, working so hard, is we want to enjoy our life, right? If there's no enjoyment in life, then what is the purpose of all the struggle, right? So enjoyment, everybody understands that everybody wants to enjoy. That's dharma, artha, kama. And then comes moksha. So we are going to talk about moksha today. So what is this moksha all about? The liberation. I mean, what is the necessity for liberation? Is that really required? Why do we need it at all? Maybe let's start with the negative and say maybe it's not required at all. Why does a human being require liberation? He's happy already with dharma, artha, and kama. That is religious principles. He has got his own moral principles. He has got his own career profession. He's earning some money for future, and he's accumulating some money and giving to his family. And he's enjoying his part of his life, and that's it. And he will die. So it's a very happy story, just like the fairy tale, right? There was a king, there was a queen, and they met and they loved each other, they fell in love, and they got married, and they lived happily ever after. Okay, so what's the problem? So is there any twist to this story? So how many stories end like that? How many of you know some real stories or some real life stories which ended like that? Anyone here? Yes, no? Type in the chat, yes, no. Or the king and the queen, they married, but then there were some problems. What's the reality? Reality versus uh, the dream world, right? Yeah, there are problems and a lot of problems, right? So let's discuss about problems, so we all understand this topic very easily. So problems. Okay, so now tell me, I would like to hear from you, what are the kind of problems that we usually face? Just type it in the chat, or just unmute yourself and tell me. So let's say there's a husband and
Problem
wife.
within ourselves.
Okay, what kind of problems? What kind of reversals? What kind of obstacles? What kind of difficulties? Are
Health
there
problem,
health problem? Okay. What else?
financial problem,
Financial problem,
relationship problem.
relationship problems. Okay. Yeah, let me see in the chat if anybody's putting something here. Yeah, life itself is like full of problems. Somebody's saying, okay, fine. Is that all? Okay. So let's see.
Starting birth, Prabhuji, birth, death, old age, disease.
Okay, birth,
The
death.
whole Garbha, surviving in the womb itself is such a big headache and a problematic. It starts from there.
Okay, starts from the birth. At least we don't remember
Hare
that.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Mataji.
So it starts from birth itself, Prabhuji.
Yeah, starts from birth. But luckily, we don't remember any of that. But definitely, it would have been a lot of inconvenience there. Right? It's what do you call that asan? If you
Garbha.
no, opposite, you're standing on your head and foot on the above. What's that asan called?
Shirsasana.
Shirshasana.
Shirshasana. Okay, not a very comfortable asan if you're going to put it for 9 months, right? Okay. Let's see some problems here, okay? And just see Okay, there is a little bit of suffering. So how many of you agree that there is suffering in, in life? Yeah, there's a little bit of suffering. It's not much, little bit. Most of the time it's good, but sometimes it's suffering. Okay, let's see what all kinds of suffering are there. All right. Okay. So traditionally, suffering is classified into how many categories? Anybody?
Threefold miseries, Prabhuji.
Yeah, threefold. Okay, so this is like threefold miseries, and the first one is inflicted by my own body. Okay. In that again, there is two category, due to the body and due to the mind. So now what is that? What are the different kinds of miseries or sufferings inflicted due to the body? Can anybody give some examples here?
Pain and disease. Disease.
Okay, pain, disease. Let's put some name. Fracture. Okay, let's put some examples. Okay, pain, disease, fracture. Due to the mind, what kind of problems can we get from the mind?
Maybe depression because of various, problems.
Okay,
Then, yeah, depression.
what
Different
else?
types of psychological problems also.
Yeah,
Psychosomatic.
psychosomatic. Okay, if you have to classify it, stress. Can I say stress? Anxiety, fear. What else? Anything else? Is that all? I wish they were only so less. If that was the case, then everybody would have been so happy. Am I right? Yeah. So what else? So what is give me another point. One more point.
Schizophrenia or something like that, Prabhuji. But
Schizophrenia, okay, or like mental diseases, we'll say. Okay,
mental diseases.
Neurological disorders. Okay, I'd say disorders. Okay, these are like real disorders. Okay, these are like some of them self-inflicted, some of them are like real disorders, okay, which you can't do much about it, right? Schizophrenia, Parkinson's, and a lot of other diseases. Okay, so yes, there seems to be some difficulties inflicted by others. What is that? Can you give me some examples of that? Inflicted by whom?
By
Fights.
family, friends, enemies.
Family, friends.
Fight, Prabhuji. Fights.
Did somebody say wives?
Fights. Fights.
Fights. Okay. I heard it wives. Okay. Fights. Okay. Fine. Family, friends, neighbors, fights. Who else can cause you difficulty? Or it could be the government as well. Am I right? So government can actually cause trouble as well, right? So maybe there are some laws or some rules which we don't just imagine, right?
Terrorists.
Yeah, that's one good one. Yeah. I was just about to say something. Terrorists, of course, definitely inflicted by this. So I was just thinking of some situation where, see, in Bangalore, there's a lot of urbanization that happens in every city as well. Urbanization. What are the dark sides of urbanization? So what happens when there is an urbanization? So typically, there's a land that's chosen. Am I right? And after choosing the land, for example, they decided to expand the Bangalore airport. Okay. So what is the thing that they did next? They found out what is the suitable place for the Bangalore airport. Am I right? So after doing that, what did they do next? What happens next? Anybody knows the process? So
Displace the people there.
yeah, you have to displace the people there. So is that a very easy? So they are like traditionally staying there from generations, right? So they're all villagers traditionally staying there from many generations, right? So is it very easy to convince all of them to displace them? Is it easy for them? How difficult or how easy is that to displace people?
They may not be properly
Very good.
compensated.
Maybe compensation issue. Even if they're compensated, a lot of times even compensation is not enough, right? They're somehow settled there. They have their ancestral property
Yes,
there,
yes.
right? They have their roots there. If they're completely displaced, where will they go? They have always lived all their life there. So where will they go, right? So these are the complications. So, but then Government has decided it. So you must move, right? So happens. So different kind of problems, I'm just telling you, can happen. Yeah, somebody said terrorists. Okay, different problems inflicted by others. Now, arising from natural consequences or catastrophes. Can anybody give me examples of this? What are these miseries called? Examples.
Flood,
Natural disasters,
Floods,
floods,
earthquakes,
earthquake,
what else?
flood,
Fire,
sandstorms,
sandstorm, pandemic. Can I say pandemic as well?
Famine.
Famine. Yeah, nice. So tell me something. Did we experience in India any one of these in the last 100 years?
yes.
All of them.
All of them? Heard of Bengal famine? Right? Millions of people not having food. And there were so many pandemics as well. The recent one being the COVID, right? So floods and earthquakes, you won't believe me. If our time is bad, somebody can even die within a city also because of rains. Did you hear of any cases like that? Somebody died in the city because of a rain. Did you hear that? Any story like that? Is that possible? I've heard that. Like because of the excessive rain, somebody got
Lightning also, Prabhuji.
carried away.
Lightning.
Yeah,
Yes.
lightning also.
They just fall into a drain, Prabhuji.
Yeah, they'll fall into a drain by mistake, falling into a drain, walking.
Open manhole.
Yeah, open land hole. Somebody is walking, excessive rain. He's not caring that there's a lot of rain. Driving, falling into the open landmine. Right. And then there are landslides also. I mean, if you talk about the hilly areas, there are landslides and rock falling, lightning also. I mean, the first time I heard lightning was like when I was in my engineering, okay. We were all doing our labs. Okay, that was back in 2004 or something. Okay. And we were doing our labs, and then suddenly we heard a very big sound, a crackling sound. Okay. And then there was a lot of noise that was going on. And there was some people crying also. And then we saw that, there was a person who was being carried. This was in Chennai. Okay. So the lightning actually struck him and he died on the spot. Okay. So examples of different kinds of miseries. So how many of you are able to understand, get some sense of what is possible? I mean, what are the different kinds of catastrophes, right? So there's different kinds of sufferings. All right. Now, how many of you believe that destiny is for real? Type me in the chat. Type yes or no. That's it. I mean, your opinion, it's fine. Whether you believe in destiny or not. That there's something called as destiny or no. There's nothing called destiny. It's only your hard work. If you're working very hard, you can do anything in life. You can change anything in life. Just type yes or no. Destiny. Okay. Yes. Okay. Let's see some examples of destiny. I would like you to tell me some bad luck. What do you call it? Bad luck. Okay. Can you tell me some examples of bad luck?
Reishi.
What is that?
The yesterday's incident at Reishi, near the Jammu Kashmir.
Glacier. Okay. What else? Bad luck. I mean, can you tell me some relatable, simple examples in our life which can happen to anybody? Doesn't have to be very catastrophic.
Losing your beloved ones.
Yeah, losing your beloveds ones, and then
Accidents,
accidents. Okay. Very much possible. What else? I want to share this story. I'm feeling very sad to share this story, but I'll have to share this story. This is like from one of our Geetangyan members only. Vimala Mataji. I'll tell you her story. Okay. She's no longer there. She passed away last couple of months back, right? So how many of you saw her in the classes? Vimala Subramaniam Mataji. Anybody?
Once you shared about her, Prabhuji, that she was very much into devotion and Krishna conscious. And you told us partly, but
Okay. I'll tell you about her story. Okay. It's very sad. Vimala Subramaniam Mataji, right? She's Tamilian, born and brought up in Bombay. And she was like anybody. This is back in 30, 40 years ago. She was like anybody, young and energetic, very optimistic, and very nice lady. And one day she was driving her scooty. Okay. And what happened was there was a lorry that came from behind and struck her scooty. Okay. And as a result of that, what happened is like she fell down and she broke her backbone. Right? How many of you know that the backbone is like the most important bone of the body? That's what keeps us straight, erect. Am I right? So, but then when that gets like fractured very badly, so then we are in deep trouble. Right? So deep trouble, badly broken. Okay. And then they had to put a iron rod. Okay, they had to replace the bone with an iron rod. Now, how many of you know that, I don't know, some of you may be having experience of bad fractures and having iron rods in your body also. But how many of you know that these rods need to be replaced every couple of years? Yes, no? Do you know that? You can't just keep it like that. And this is a surgery that happened like 30 years back, right? Because there'll be some complications, something. So she had to undergo surgery every 5 to 10 years. She used to be undergoing a surgery. Okay. And used to put some kind of a rod, right? And she used to be very painful, obviously. And obviously, she could not have a continuous career because she could not travel at all. Okay. Are you understanding the situation? This is right from many, many years back. And just things became worse and worse and worse. She's immobile. She cannot move. And her sister is helping her out. Okay. Then just things kept becoming worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And the last message that I saw from her was that, I'm sorry, Prabhuji, I'm not able to attend the classes. I'm extremely unwell. Okay. And she passed away. Okay. Now, so that's the story. That's a story of destiny. Like, that's bad luck. I mean, there's nothing that she did. She was just driving her bike. That's
How
it.
long did she survive, Prabhuji?
30, 35 years, more than that.
My God, hats off.
30,
Great.
35 years plus. Multiple surgeries, surgery after surgery. I mean, it came to a position where they said, we can't change now. We cannot operate now. It's not possible. Okay. Okay. So I'm just giving you an example of how, destiny can take turns. And more examples of destiny.
Prabhuji, I survived an accident with a bus,
Wow. What was that?
12th standard, head injury.
Head injury.
Yeah. I was coming back from college and rainy season. I became unconscious. I don't know what happened, but I was told that the bus hit me. And the girl who was driving behind me, she took me to her house. And I survived, Prabhuji. Next day I went to college.
Whoa.
So that is destiny.
That's lucky. Yeah. You got lucky, right? So there's something called as luck. You were lucky, right? So
Maybe I was just hit and I fell on the side.
Talking about accidents, I tell you, when I was in engineering, I remember we used to go by bus from college to our room. And yeah, the bus used to be fully packed. It was a government bus. And it used to be fully packed. And it was a very common scene that, the students would be hanging. How many of you have seen such kind of scene? Right? Students are hanging on the edge of the bus. It's very normal. It used to happen. Even I used to be hanging sometimes. So, but unfortunately, one of our college mates, he fell down in the front side, and the car tire rolled over his stomach, and he passed away immediately. Okay. So just telling you some examples. Okay, I'm telling you some examples. So these are all like real things that have happened. Destiny. Examples: losing wealth. How can you lose wealth? Can you tell me some examples of famous examples of somebody who lost their wealth? How can you lose your wealth? Somebody rags to riches and riches to rags. I'm talking about riches to rags. What are the kind of events that can happen that can bring somebody?
Shares, betting and gambling.
Okay, betting, gambling, you know so many stories where somebody puts money in the shares, puts in the options, intraday trading, derivatives, stock market trading. They put all the money and the money is wiped out in one day, right? And can you tell me one very famous business tycoon who was very rich? Now he's almost a pauper.
Malia.
Okay, Malia. Who else? How about Ambani family?
Anil Ambani.
Anil Ambani. Right. So sometimes the business trends change, right? Once upon a time, Nokia was the number one company, and today it is not, right? So, for example, we all know this, right? COVID stories. Those businessmen who have invested lakhs of rupees, crores of rupees in hospitality business, just they have invested, and the COVID lockdown started. How many of you heard such stories? Crores of rupees gone to drain, right? Loss of property. How many of you heard that kind of stories? Like somebody is like land mafia, grabbing. We all watched that movie. What's the name of that movie? I forgot. There's like Anupam Kher. He's a middle class guy who accumulates money all through his life. From his savings, he buys one plot, and then the land mafia grabs it up. You know that movie? Forgot the name. I watched it long back. And he fights a court case. There are thousands of such stories where the property is lost because of grabbing, or maybe because of some government regulatory issues, that this land was actually not having any permissions, right? Share market crash, Bitcoin, business crashes. Once upon a time, the business was like a business tycoon, Anil Ambani, but now completely gone. Yeah, spoke about accident. Accident can cause injuries. If you are very unfortunate, disability, and even more unfortunate, death, right? We hear so many stories, right? So I remember one of the stories of accident. One of our Geeta Gyan members, Divya Mataji, right? Divya Manur Mataji, and her family was traveling, okay, to Araku in a bus. I don't know if you saw that news, okay? It was a bus. And it was bus filled with all the people. And then the person who is driving, the driver, when he's coming down the valley, he's not able to put the brakes, okay? Somehow he's not putting the brakes, and he didn't put the brake on time, or the brake failed. Something happened like that. And he had no clue what to do next. Then the bus fell down from such a height, and more or less everybody survived. It was miraculous. It was miraculous survival. It's hardly impossible. Okay, maybe somebody died, one small child died, like that. More or less everybody survived, because when the bus fell, it threw people out, and people were like, they just went for a picnic. They went to temple also, and they went to picnic also. They took darshan, and then the bus rolled over like this, and then everybody was like hurled out. They fell on the trees, some of them who got saved. Okay, could have all died. Okay, real story. Sorry for sharing a lot of these kind of stories, but they are real stories. I just want to inform you the reality. Okay, because a lot of time our mind cheats us. Okay, we should be informed. One of the members, this is a very recent story, a real story again, who are from our Gita Gyan, who attend Telugu class, not my class, but Murli Prabhu's class. Very nice devotees. And they left in the night in the bus and with the car in their own private vehicle. And he somehow fell asleep. It was a night journey. And while it's a family, father, mother, children, and their grandchildren, 2 grandchildren. So son was driving and then he just fell asleep for a moment. That's it. Then what happened was like, son survived, father survived, okay, daughter-in-law and mother, both of them died. Nilarani Mataji, very serious devotees. Okay, really, it happened just a couple of months back. Okay, and yeah, the children, one of the child passed away. Okay, this has happened. And we know our own Anadi Jagannath Prabhu. How many of you know Anadi Jagannath Prabhu? Anybody knows him? Yeah, he's my mentor, right? He was driving his bike and we don't know what exactly happened, but there was a lorry that just hit him and went over him. Okay. So this is the life. Okay, this is life. Losing loved ones, sudden death, health issues, chronic diseases, irreversible chronic diseases which keep progressing, lifestyle diseases, diabetes, sugar, BP, fatal diseases. And a lot of times we think money can help, but I'll tell you 2 famous examples. We think science can help, but it's not true. Okay. Let me tell you the example. Okay, here is example. Very famous. Steve Jobs. What happened to Steve Jobs? Anybody? Anybody knows what happened to Steve Jobs?
Pancreatic cancer.
Pancreatic cancer. And he was not ready to take the treatment. He tried some treatment. He got cured. And he gave a lecture at Stanford. He said that he got magically cured out of the cancer. But then somehow the cancer came again. I don't know the exact medical details, but he passed away. And Apple is the world's #1 brand. They're solving the problems of people. So he's very passionate about solving problems of people. Okay. But he could do nothing. Google founders. Do you know the names of Google founders? Larry Page and Sergey Brin. Okay. Larry Page has got his left vocal cord paralysis. You know how Sundar Pichai became the CEO? It's not sheerly by talent. Actually, it is his destiny. Because if Eric Schmidt, the CEO of Google, if he was successful, Sundar Pichai would never have become a CEO. And if Eric Schmidt would have launched the Google Chrome browser himself, Sundar Pichai would never have got a chance. And then they gave the chance to Larry Page. But Larry Page, he developed this left vocal cord paralysis. I mean, like, come on, he's the founder of Google. Okay, he's got all the money. Billions of dollars. We can't even count so much money they have got. Okay. He's got all the money of life. Can ever imagine? But he could not get these things cured. Maybe he's got it somewhat relieved, but the investors, they didn't, the board of investors, the board of directors, they didn't want him as a CEO because he cannot talk. Steve Jobs. Okay. So, how many of you heard of Jayalalitha, famous politician, right? She used to change her dresses every single day. We hear this, right? She never repeats her chappal. She's got so many chappal with her. Okay. Very rich. She can get the best of the care. Best of the care. She was the CM of Tamil Nadu for many years, many terms. Not an ordinary lady. But doctors could do nothing. Right? So, health issues. Now we see poor monsoon issues, right? You see, we are staying in urban areas, we are sitting in internet, Zoom and all fine. But do you realize that there are some districts, some areas in India, like Vidarbha, Saurashtra, where the only means of earning money is agriculture. And one poor monsoon means suicide of lakhs of farmers. Lakhs of farmers, they suicide because of poor monsoon. Nothing to do with what they have got. Okay, it's just bad luck. Okay, poor monsoon, lakhs of people, they suicide. We see the farmer suicide, farmers agitation. Career opportunities, good luck, bad luck, positive and good luck. Sometimes there is a firing that happens. The company fires. They just say that this product is no longer profitable. We want this entire division to be gone. I'll tell you one story of Intel. Okay, some of my friends, they were working in Intel. While it was going well, they earned a lot of money, all fine. But now, Intel is not doing so well because of the competition from NVIDIA and AMD. And they have done a lot of cost cutting. They've reduced the salary. Okay. So sometimes the salary is not given. Okay. Do you know any situation like that? That for some airlines, you hear that story? Salary not given for many months. Did you hear that?
Yeah. Jet Air, what is that? Jet Airways,
Sure. Kingfisher also.
Kingfisher and Jet Airways.
Salary not given on time, career opportunities, sometimes even jailed, right? Because of some, sometimes what happens, there are some products that we are, they're working on, maybe that VP, vice president of some division of some product. That product has caused some damage or some issue to somebody and then they got jailed. And Maruti Suzuki, we know that the workers were so unhappy that they burnt alive one of the managers. Did you hear that? So bad luck. Okay, career opportunities. Maybe somebody gone, maybe went to the USA for on-site, but it was, the date was 9/11. WTC building. You know what happens next, right? Here people are celebrating that, okay, he's in on-site, happy. Relationship issues. What are the possibilities? Separation has become very common now in India. It's become very much acceptable. It was like less than 2% before. In USA, it is 50%. Marriages end up in separation. Now the numbers are increasing very fast. Okay, because the values have completely changed. If we say that this is the value, that is the value, people will say, are you mad? Okay. Because everybody is living it's a different lifestyle now. Okay. It's an urban lifestyle where both the husband and wife are working and they're both busy and there's no emotional connect and the basics are missing, right? And there's no connection. There's nothing in the relationship, right? Separation very easily ends in separation. Extramarital affairs, Recently, I was actually shocked to see there was a app that came specialized in extramarital affairs. Okay. And they have seen a huge amount of registrations. Okay. And they called the Bangalore as the infidelity capital of India. Okay. Infidelity capital means cheating. So where the spouse will cheat on the husband and wife. Okay. Extramarital issues have become a serious concern. Family conflicts. I think I forgot this. Domestic violence is a reality in many houses. It's been a reality for many hundreds of years. Property fights, which can sometimes lead up to arguments, separation of the family, sometimes killing each other also. Right? War. Okay, how many of you think that war is a reality? Type me in the chat. Is war a reality or it's not there? No, everybody is at peace. There's no war, nothing. Everybody is peaceful. Type war in the chat. What are the wars that are going on right now? Anyone? If not in India, what are the wars that are happening?
Hamas and Israel.
Hamas and Israel. Other wars, what else? Is that the
Russia.
only? Ukraine,
Russia, Ukraine is never ending.
never-ending war, Russia, Ukraine. So it is said that at any given point of time in the human history, there has been never a time, never ever, that there was no war. Did you know that? Always there is a war somewhere or the other, not one, multiple of them. Pandemics, we have got the taste of it very clearly. We know. And there was a huge loss. Some of us have lost our relatives in this pandemic. Some of us have actually lost our health forever. So many of our devotees also say that after the COVID, like it shattered me. I mean, after that, they have developed so many irreversible problems. Okay. COVID pandemic issues. Okay. So now how many of you agree that, yeah, there is a little bit of suffering in the world? How much suffering is there in the world? Type in the chat. Out of 10, okay, I want you to give a number. So how much suffering is there in the world? Okay, if it is like less, put 1. If there is no suffering, put 0. There is more, 8, 9, 10, whatever number. I want to see like, what is your view of suffering that is there in the world presently? I just want to see how much suffering do we have. Yes or no? How much is that? 9. Only 1? 10? 10? 9 out of 10? Okay. So now that we understand the problem, see, without understanding the problem, we talk about the solution. It doesn't make any sense, isn't it? What is it called? It's called PAS framework. Problem, agitate, solution. PAS. That's what there's the framework that's used. And I'm using the PAS framework. So I explained you the problem and then I agitated that. And then I'm going to give the solution. Because if we say the solution directly, how many of you would be interested to hear? We say about self-realization, we say, no, thank you. We are very happy people. We don't need anything of this. Am I right? So let's talk about the solution. Now that we know the problem, that it is real, 100% real, 100% real, ask anybody who has lived their life and who are wise. Then they will definitely say, I mean, we hear every other person saying, my parents have always suffered. How many of you heard this dialogue? My parents have suffered all their life. Am I right? Have you heard this? I've heard it many times. And our children, they say the same dialogue, all of them. My parents have suffered a lot. So that means that our parents have suffered a lot. Somehow, I don't know why, they were unfortunate. I am not suffering. I don't have any suffering in store. I'm going to be very happy. What is this called? Type in the chat. What is this called? Illusion. It is illusion. Just like illusion means when you're traveling in a desert, You see some water and you get excited. Oh, there's water, there's a water, there's water. But when you go nearby, what happens next? Mirage. There is no water there. After going there, after traveling 20 years, 30 years in our life, 40 years, 50 years in our life, we realize actually there's no water there. But then we think maybe we are unfortunate. Why should I tell everybody about this and disturb positive people? Let them be optimistic. Why should I spread this negativity in the society and say that, okay, nothing is there, don't do anything. Let them do something, right? So we don't share our story. But the thing is like, everybody is given the same beating. Okay, we are going through the same beating. Okay, we have to go through that. There's no choice. So here is the solution. Okay, this is solution from Bhagavad Gita. Okay, and it's relevant. How many of you understand that these problems are relevant to all of us? All these problems are relevant to us, and so is the solution very much relevant to us. The solution given by Krishna for all our problems of life is self-realization. So type SR in the chat. Self-realization. That's the solution. Type SR in the chat. Okay. Now let's see what's that self-realization. For the one who has conquered the mind, the super soul is already reached, for he has attained tranquility. To such a man, happiness and distress, heat and cold, honor and dishonor are the same. How many of you are able to understand what this shloka means? Okay, this is from the chapter number 6. I don't remember the verse number. If you conquer your mind, then happiness and distress, heat and cold, honor and dishonor will remain the same. So no matter what kind of circumstances you are in, you will be not agitated. Okay. Let us see more things. Okay. What are the principles and symptoms of a self-realized soul? We'll see that. Okay. Even before we go to the principles, we'll see the symptoms of a self-realized soul. So what is this self-realization? Is this a reality? And if it is a reality, how do we know that somebody is self-realized or not? What are the symptoms? Okay. Let us see the symptoms. Okay. Any volunteers for reading this?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I'll read Prabhuji.
Yes, please go ahead.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O son of Pandu, he who does not hate illumination, attachment and delusion when they are present or long for them when they disappear, who is unwavering and undisturbed through all these reactions of material qualities, remaining neutral and transcendental, knowing that the modes alone are active, who is situated in self and regards alike happiness and distress, who looks upon a lump of earth, a stone and a piece of gold with an equal eye, who is equal towards the desirable and the undesirable, who is steady, situated equally well in praise and blame, honor and dishonor, who treats alike both friend and enemy, and who has renounced all material activities, such a person is said to have transcended the modes of nature. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So let us take some key points from this. Just tell me some key points from this. I'll just keep noting. Some very key important points which struck you. Some key qualities of a self-realized soul. Undisturbed. Remaining neutral. Remain neutral. And any more points? Equipoised. Okay. Okay, I want you to, type in the chat or just read it out. Okay, tell me, take out one point from this. Whatever we have heard.
Equanimity.
Equanimity. Equipoised, equanimity, similar. It's maybe slightly different. Equipoised. Equipoised is like taking happiness. I mean, like success, sometimes like you can be getting profit in your business. Sometimes there is failure. Sometimes you pass in your attempt. Sometimes you fail. Sometimes whatever we think happens. Sometimes whatever we think doesn't happen. So equipoise in both. Equanimity, maintaining equilibrium. Okay. And maybe like equanimity, like you can say friend and enemy. So able to see, treat, because a lot of times we are like disturbed by our enemies, right? So we hate some people and we love some people. And that's normal. It's duality. And then those people whom we hate, unfortunately, they continuously disturb us. But if we can have this mindset of being able to see them both on an equal platform, then we are no longer disturbed. Correct? Okay. So let's go to the next one. So we saw these are the ones: undisturbed, remaining neutral, equipoised, and equanimity looks at friends and enemy as the same. All right. Let's go to the next one. Okay. Who can read this? Yeah, 1 minute. Sorry. Yes. Anybody?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Hare Krishna. In the stage of perfection called trance or samadhi, one's mind is completely restrained from material mental activities by practice of yoga. This perfection is characterized by one's ability to see the self by the pure mind and to relish and rejoice in the self. In that joyous state, one is situated in boundless transcendental happiness, realized through transcendental senses. Established thus, one never departs from the truth, and upon gaining this, he thinks there is no greater gain. Being situated in such a position, one is never shaken, even in the midst of greatest difficulty. This indeed is actual freedom from all miseries arising from material contact. Bhagavad Gita 6.20 to 23.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Hare
very much.
Krishna.
Let's take up some key points from this. So tell me some key points. What do you see?
Not getting attached to your fruitive activities and material life.
Unattached, and I saw something joyous. Did you notice that? Joyous state. And did you notice the next one? Yeah, one more.
Unshaken.
Unshaken. What else? Boundless transcendental happiness. Boundless. I'll just put boundless happiness. Okay, so now tell me, how many of you want boundless happiness? Type me in the chat. Okay, type me in the chat. How many of you want boundless happiness? That you want to be unlimitedly happy? How many of you would like to be unshaken and joyous in any circumstance of life, whatever may come? You shall be unshaken. Type me in the chat if you want to be unshaken. So here it is written, see, in that position, one is never shaken even in the midst of the greatest difficulty. Can you tell me one example of a devotee from Srimad Bhagavatam who was subject to a lot of difficulties?
Prahlad Maharaj.
Prahlad Maharaj.
Prahlad Maharaj. And what was his nature when he was, what kind of difficulties was he undergoing?
Threat to life in
Threat
many
to
ways.
life-threatening situations like giving poison, trying to attack him, kill him in multiple ways. And was he unshaken? Yes or no? Was he shaken? Was he disturbed?
No.
Was he joyous?
No.
Was he enjoying boundless happiness? Prahlad Maharaj?
Yes, when he was remembering God.
Yes.
And he was all the time remembering.
He was always remembering God and he was always happy. Actually, Hiranyakashipu was getting very disturbed. What is wrong with this guy? Why doesn't he feel sad? Okay. Let's see more examples. Okay, in the next one. All right. So let's go to the next one. Yes. Who wants to read this very, very beautiful verse of Bhagavad Gita 18.54? Lovely verse. Verse and translation. Very beautiful verse. Go ahead. Read it.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah, go ahead, Mats.
ब्रह्मभूता प्रसन्नात्मा न शोचति न काङ्क्षति समः सर्वेषु भूतेषु मद्भक्तिं लभते पराम्. One who is thus transcendentally situated at once realizes the Supreme Brahman and becomes fully joyful. He never laments or desire to have anything. He is equally disposed toward every living entity. In that state, he attains pure devotional service unto me. Bhagavad Gita 18.54. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you.
Prabhuji.
Thank you very much. Okay, let's take some key points from this. Tell me, what are the qualities of this soul who is self-realized?
Transcendental,
Transcendental, and then
Does not lament.
never laments. Yes, does not lament.
Same equipoised.
equally disposed,
Yeah, fully joyful. Yeah, equally disposed towards all. And then attains pure devotional service. That is the love of God. I'll say attains love of God. Okay. So that is a person who is liberated. These are the qualities. A liberated soul is transcendental to the material nature. He never laments and is fully joyful and equally disposed towards all and attains love of God. Can you tell me some stories? Okay, we covered Prahlad Maharaj. Can we discuss more examples of one more example of a pure devotee from Srimad Bhagavatam who is having these qualities?
Parikshit Maharaj.
Parikshit Maharaj. So what was the difficulty Parikshit Maharaj was going through? What was the destiny and suffering we talked about, right? Problems. So what was the category that he was in? Separate category of its own. We don't get to see that category nowadays. But let's put that. Cursed. Cursed to death. So he's about to die in
7 days.
7 days. So he knows his time is ticking. 7 days to go. But his mood is this. Transcendental. Listening to Shukadeva Goswami. Not lamenting. He's not lamenting. He's not saying, oh, I've got only 7 days to die. I didn't even live my life. Is he complaining? No. Is he fully joyful? Yes. Equally disposed towards all? Yes. Right? And did he attain the love of God?
Yes.
Yes. So now tell me, how many of you would like to get all of these qualities? Type me in the chat. To be undisturbed in difficulties, to remain neutral, equipoised, equanimous, unattached, joyous, unshaken, boundless happiness, transcendental to things around you, never lamenting, fully joyful and equally disposed towards all and attaining the love of God. Type me in the chat. Okay, now tell me, let us say, if somebody who is getting all of these qualities, okay, let us say, if somebody gets all of these qualities, would they be disturbed by any of these sufferings? Inflicted by the body, Parikshit Maharaj, due to the body, inflicted by others, Prahlad Maharaj, his father, continuously torturing him, natural catastrophes, whatever may happen, natural catastrophe, whatever may happen, he's always, okay, we can say Anad Jagannath Prabhu. Some accident happened. But he was in a different mood. He was like, I'll tell you something interesting. On the day when he left his body, I'll tell you what is the situation. He was giving a IDC course, ISKCON IDC course in the temple. And he always used to travel by his car. Always, I know him. And I've seen him so closely. Even for getting flowers for deity worship, he doesn't take out his two-wheeler. And the flowers shop is next 2-3 streets away. Just for getting flowers also he uses his four-wheeler. But his four-wheeler went for repair. Only then. Okay. And he was doing an IDC course 3 days. And I'll tell you, everybody, all the devotees recollect very vividly what happened on that day. Okay. And Sumukha Prabhu was there, Sanatana Nitaya Prabhu, they all talked to him, they all spoke to him. And he was about to leave and it was raining. And everybody recollects this, okay? And his sister also called him. And he spoke to his sister also. And everybody said, it's raining, don't go. But then he said, I'll go. And then he asked for prasadam packets. So he did a class full day. Okay? He gave class, IDC class. And in the evening, there was a prasadam packet that was kept for him to eat food. And the next day morning, there was the opening of Sriva Sangan. That is, Sriva Sangan, first they opened a center there. And it was a rented place. And because of the litigations with the owner, that was like on a hold for some time. And it went into litigations and they were not able to run the center. And the litigations were over. And he was very excited about it. That tomorrow morning, Mangalarti, we are going to perform there. And he was telling everybody that, no, I have to go because I have to do Mangalarti there. Okay. And then what happened? He gets a phone call from a devotee saying that my father-in-law is not doing well. And he's right now in Seshadripuram and he has only a bike. And he starts on his bike to Whitefield. It's like so many kilometers away. Okay, please be on mute. So he goes to, he takes his bike to Whitefield in a rainy day with the prasadam packet to give it to that devotee's, father-in-law who is in the hospital. Can you understand his mood? What is his mood? That food packet was for him. He said that this is more required by him than me. It's okay for me. I want to just give this food packet to that devotee. Okay. And he left. And then he went to the hospital, Whitefield. Okay. And he met the devotee. He gave the food packet. And he gave a Narasimha photo because that his father-in-law was not doing well at all. So he brought a photo all the way from temple to give him. And then now it was raining and then Subha Mukunda Prabhu had come there and they were talking. It was a little bit raining and they were waiting. And then Subha Mukunda Prabhu said, come to our home. Let's go to our home. Okay, don't stay here. We'll go home. And he said, no, I have to go because tomorrow morning is very special. Tomorrow morning, that center is going to start again after such a long time. It's been closed for such a long time now. Tomorrow morning, I have to do Mangalarti there. So I have to go. And he left. And then rest is history. Like rest of the things is like, unfortunately, he passed. You know what our Guru Maharaj said? Jayapataka Swami Maharaj said when he was asked, said that Anadi Jagannath Prabhu went back to Godhead. How many of you are able to understand that what is the mood in which he is right now at the time of leaving the body? So what is the principle of Bhagavad Gita? What is the principle of Bhagavad Gita? Antakale cha mame vasmaran muktva kalevaram ya prayadi samadbhavam nastyatra na samshaya. That means you should be always in that mood. No, mood of serving Krishna, serving the devotees. Right? So he was in that completely Krishna conscious mood. He was joyous. He was not lamenting or anything. Okay. So coming back to this, whatever suffering may be there, whatever things may happen to us, anything, we saw the story of the Avanti Brahmana. He lost all his wealth. But like Anil Ambani, he is not crying that his wealth is lost. So how many of you saw that he was getting tears of joy at the end? Did you see that? Yes? Yes, no? Unmute and tell me. Yes?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes. He was getting tears of joy. And he was actually feeling good that he is getting insulted and everything. Okay. And he's feeling, and he lost everything, but still he's happy. Cursed to death, Parikshit Maharaj. Accident, we covered that. Losing loved ones. Sudden death. Health issues. Whatever may be the thing. Right? No, when the Ukraine war happened, the Ukraine devotees, they were distributing prasad. They were not caring about the war. They are doing katha, Krishna katha. When pandemic happened, who are the most happiest people in the world? Do you know?
Pharmaceutical and doctors, Prabhuji.
Okay, that is material happiness. Who are joyous, transcendentally enjoying? Who are they?
Devotees.
Devotees. When the pandemic started, we started Gita Gyan. You know, that's when Jayapataka Maharaj, our Guru Maharaj, said, this is the time to start online preaching. You start online preaching and start preach online. He told to Anukul Keshav Prabhu. Anukul Keshav Prabhu said to Anadi Prabhu. Anadi Prabhu discussed with me, and I did a little bit of assistance to him to start this Gita Gyan. So I tell you my story. When the COVID was happening, when I was in Bangalore, every single day I was enjoying so much. Because every single day I could have association of Anadi Jagannath Prabhu, who was usually very difficult to get. And we could hear him, his association, and he was giving the classes. We could hear him continuously. He used to explain Bhagavad Gita, and we were just enjoying it. I mean, I remember my routine. I have the similar routine now, but I don't have that happiness that I have at that time. I mean, because there was nothing on the mind other than this Krishna consciousness. It's like, waking up early in the morning, chanting the rounds, waking up early in the morning, doing Mangalarti, chanting the rounds, and sitting down and reading Srimad Bhagavatam. And when I was going through the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam, it was like some light coming out of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So, a lot of devotees said the same thing, that during the COVID times they were happy. So you see, this is called mitigation of the miseries of material world. I tell you one story. There is a story of Anantalvar. Anantalvar, once, who is Anantalvar? He is a pure devotee in the Sri Sampradaya. And he was appointed by his guru Ramanujacharya in Tirumala, Tirupati Balaji, to worship the deity of Tirupati Balaji. And he was given that service to do deity worship. Okay. They are not like these days Brahmanas who, take money and they're doing for some salary. It's a job for them. So if you give more salary, they may leave also. They're not attached to the activity. It's not like that kind of thing. Guru said, and I will worship. I will do the deity worship. He has dedicated his life. And Guru says, if Guru says go to Pakistan, he will go to Pakistan. Prabhupada said, go to Pakistan. Some devotees went to Pakistan. And they were about to be killed. They somehow escaped and came. Prabhupada said, go to China and preach. They went to China and preached at the risk of their life. That is called following the instructions of the Guru. So here Ramanujacharya said, worship Tirumala Balaji, Tirupati Balaji. He went and he's like fully dedicated, fully focused. Only one thing. Every day morning, early morning, he'll just go get some fresh buds and prepare a mala, which will be like, he was digging a well. And we know that story. Somebody disturbed him. Lord came to disturb him. And he said, can I do the service? You're so excited. You're so immersed in this service. Can I dig the well? He said, no, please don't disturb me. This is my service. My Guru Maharaj gave. I must do this. And then what happened? Anybody can say, Jayanti Mataji, you can say, what happened next? And Balaji is very excited to see that, my devotee is enjoying so much this service. Let me do. Okay, he comes and he says, okay, can I do it? And after some time, he became angry and he threw the axe. Just get out from here. Don't disturb me. And that cut here for that boy. Later, when he went inside the altar, he saw that Lord was bleeding from here. So Lord only has come. Right? And in another situation, There was a snake that came and bit him, poisonous snake. And he's continuing his services. And the devotees are saying, Guru Maharaj, please, his disciples were saying, Guru Maharaj, please, take the medicine or else you'll die. Said, please don't disturb me. I'm very busy. I have so many services to do to Balaji. Let me just do he's doing services continuously. Okay, he got a poison bite. They all went and complained to Balaji. And Balaji called Anantalvar and he said, come here. What happened to you? Why don't you take medicine? You've been bitten by a poisonous snake. And he's saying, my dear Lord, if I'll tell you something, the poison that has been, coming from that snake is actually very less. Internally, I've got so much of poison. Kama, Krodha, Lobha. I have so much of lust. I have so much of anger. I have so much of greed. I'm such a poisonous person. There's so much poison within. So this poison will counteract. So if my poison is more, then the snake's poison will go. I'll be alive. Then I'll continue your service. If snake's poison is more and my poison is less, I will die. Then I will go back to Godhead. I will cross the Viraja river and I will serve you directly in your abode. So it doesn't matter whether I'm dying here or there, I'm back. How many of you got the mood of Anantalvar? This is called a self-realized soul. This is the target. Self-realized soul is not worried about death. Because when a self-realized soul is here, he's serving the Lord. And when he died, he's gone back to Godhead and he's serving the Lord. When Haridas Thakur died, what was the reaction of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Anybody knows?
Yes, Prabhuji, he held him in his
Ecstasy.
arm and he danced joyfully. Chaitanya
Ecstasy.
Mahaprabhu.
If anybody dies, will you hold the corpse and dance like that? Anybody does like that? Did you hear
No.
any story like that? That somebody died, our own person died, and then you hold the corpse and dance? Who does that? Why is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu dance? Why is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu dance? Why is it
Because he
dance?
went back to Godhead, Prabhuji.
Yeah. We see in the movies, they show in opposite way that God is crying. Oh, my devotee is crying. So that is all fake. That's not real. This is the real story. Okay. God doesn't lament when a devotee dies. Oh, my devotee has died. He becomes happy. Thank goodness he's back to Godhead. All the material miseries are over forever. He'll never suffer again. All his karmic reactions are cleared. This is how God thinks. Our thoughts are opposite. Okay. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was holding his body and he was dancing because here is Namacharya, Haridas Thakur, Namacharya, 22 hours of chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra all his life. And is fully liberated. And he's gone back to Godhead. Then he ordered a big feast and they all ate a big feast. That Haridas Thakur went back to Godhead. So, Jivane Marane Gati. Radha Krishna Prana Mora Yugala Kishora. Jivane Marane Gati Nahi Kona Ara. Means Radha Krishna Prana Mora. Radha Krishna, you are my life and soul. Whether I'm alive or dead. Okay, whatever might be the situation. Whatever may be the situation. I am happy that I am serving you. This is called self-realization. How many of you are getting what I'm saying? Right? Self-realization means undisturbed, equipoised, unattached, joyous, boundless happiness, full of joy. See, this world is dukkhalaya ashashvatam. Nobody can escape it. We are trying to do hundreds of solutions for escaping. See, how many of us have come from rural areas to urban areas, if not us, our ancestors, in the search of happiness, in the view that we will be happy. So we came from some villages to urban areas in the view that we will never be unhappy. But did that happen? No. How many of us got married and we got job, everything. We did everything. We took all the kinds of vaccines. We have taken all kinds of insurances. We are trying to do everything to protect ourselves, but then still we are getting suffering after suffering after suffering after suffering. That's not the immunity. The immunity is to become self-realized. That's the solution. If you really care for yourself, if you care for your people, make them self-realized. Make yourself self-realized. How to do that? The purpose of human body is self-realization. The God has created so many types of bodies: butterflies, insects, ants, worms, cats, dogs, pigs, hogs, monkeys, birds. Human body is meant for self-realization. That is the main purpose. How many of we are actually working towards the actual purpose? There's a verse which says, Labdhva sudurlabham idam bahu sambhavante manusyamartadam anityam apiha dhira turnam yatetana pated anuvritya yavan nishreyasaya vishaya khalu sarvatasyat. After many, many births and deaths, one achieves the rare human form of life. It is a rare, rare, rare human form of life we have achieved. Labdhva sudurlabham idam bahu sambhavante. After many lifetimes, after a great waiting, we got this lifetime, human being life. And it is anityam, very temporary. There is no guarantee 100 years will live. Nobody lives for 100 years. 1 in 2 billion people lives 100 years. And it is affording the opportunity to attain highest perfection. That is the purpose. Therefore, an intelligent, wise, adult person with common sense, with brain, must quickly endeavor for this ultimate perfection of life. As long as body is not fallen down and dead, as long as you are able to lift your hands, do devotional service. If you are able to lift your hands, that is enough. That qualification is enough to do devotional service. As long as you're able to talk. If you cannot talk, you cannot chant. Your time is up if you cannot chant. I mean, as long as you have energy to serve, you must serve. We should immediately take it up. Anyways, the body is going to die. Sense gratification is available even for the most abominable species of life. Krishna consciousness is possible only for a human being. If all we want is just sense gratification, there are many different types of bodies. If all we want is the pleasure of eating nice food, then there are many, 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 many millions of species out there, where you can eat varieties of flesh, varieties of foods, variety of taste. Variety of sensual enjoyment is available for varieties of species without any restriction. Unrestricted enjoyment is available in the animal species. If that is the only thing that we want, Krishna will enable us to get that body. And we shall get that body. If we are hankering for that happiness, Krishna will say, granted, take it. But Krishna consciousness is possible only for a human being. It's not possible for animals. And the suffering is due to the bodily concept of life. All the suffering, just look at this. We showed a lot of names here. The suffering, okay, that I have a disease, I've got a headache, I've got a mind problem, I've got this organ disorder, I've got this, somebody trying to kill me. Everything is coming back to bodily conception of life. As long as I am thinking that I am the body, then I must suffer. But if I can realize completely that I am not the body, I am the soul, then where is the suffering? The example given in Srimad Bhagavatam is a drunkard person, intoxicated person. He doesn't know whether he is wearing a dress or not. Am I right? An intoxicated person is so intoxicated that he doesn't know whether he is dressed or not on his body. Similarly, a self-realized person does not care for the bodily difficulties. A self-realized soul does not care for any bodily difficulties. Okay? This is the goal of life. Not that we try to do some adjustment, try to do this. Whatever adjustment we may do, there is no escape. for anybody. Everybody must have to die. They're just trying to run away from it. Okay, so it's not possible. And we should better, instead of running away from it, we should face the fear and look for the solution. The solution is given very clearly by Krishna. We should take it up. Sufferings are due to the modes of material nature. Okay, and these modes of material nature, mode of passion and ignorance, right? So mode of passion and ignorance, the cause for our suffering is mode of passion. Do you know what that means? Competitive spirit. I'm not feeling bad because I got 80 percentile. I'm feeling bad that there are 20% of people who got more than me. There's a difference. I'm not happy that Krishna has given me everything. I'm feeling sad that Krishna did not give me something which is there with somebody else. I'm comparing and saying, oh, that guy is enjoying this, my sister is enjoying, and then I'm feeling bad. This is mode of passion. We are not suffering because of the external problems. We are suffering because of mode of passion and mode of ignorance. Because of our own mind. If our mind is fixed, then there is no problem at all. Anything happens, Ananta Alvar, anything happens. It's okay if the poison bites and if I'm dying, no problem. Prahlad Maharaj saying, it's okay if I die. Parikshit Maharaj saying, it's okay if I die. 7 days to death, no problem. I am fully Krishna conscious, I'll go back to Godhead. Vrittasura is saying to Indra, you are such a fool. I am going back to Godhead. Right? So this is the thing. I mean, if the worst thing is death, if death is also not able to perturb us, not disturb us, then what to talk about the silly, small problems, right? There's nothing. So this is what we should be equipped with. This is what we should give to our loved ones. Okay. So now we'll stop here and we will see in the next continuation. We will see a nice story of how Draupadi asks an interesting question to Yudhishthir Maharaj and how to do this, how to get the self-realization. I told you about the solution, but then how to do the self-realization, how to get self-realization, is it possible at all? How not to do self-realization, we will see all of that. What are the objections? What are the common objections that we get? That, oh, self-realization is not for me. This is for these people. Yeah, we can't make it. We can make it. Why not? I'm telling you so many examples. Our Guru Maharaj said, Vishnupriya Mataji, I don't know if I told you her story. Guru Maharaj said she went back to God. Anadi Jagannath Prabhu, he said very clearly he went back to God. So if they can do it, why can't we do it? We can also do it. We can also do it. Right? We just have to follow in their footsteps. That's it. Just follow in the footsteps. Type FIF in the chat. Okay, follow in the footsteps of the previous acharyas or previous devotees who have set a glorious example. We should simply follow in their footsteps. We don't have to innovate any new formula here. Okay. All right. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for joining, devotees. So, okay. So we'll stop here. So Hare Krishna. So if you want to add something, if you have something to share, you feel free to share this. Hare Krishna. Stop here. Yes. All right. Hare Krishna. So how are you feeling? I just want to hear one word from each of you. How are you feeling after hearing this? Renuka Mataji, how are you feeling?
Yeah, feeling better, Prabhuji. Actually, there is so much suffering, but I don't say God has given me everything, but still I suffer. I don't know why. Maybe I'm not happy with the life, or I don't know. But the way you said, see, whatever comes, should just face it. That's all. And I don't say I actually, God gave me everything, Prabhuji. Very good children, very good husband, all facilities, but still I suffer. It is meaningless. But I'm not happy with the being on this earth, I feel. That's how I suffer. But the way you said, it's really, we should self-realization is a necessity. It's a necessity.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Mataji. Arati Mataji, you want to add something? Kalyani Mataji, you want to say something? How are you feeling after hearing this?
Prabhuji, I encounter extreme weakness every day, almost reaching to I don't know. I don't want to use that word, but I do experience death every day.
Oh my.
So I am actually very happy. I just thank God that I just tell him, "Oh, thank you for giving me this day. Today I want to listen to this lecture by so and so. This I want to listen to." I keep a timetable, and I'm seeing on Facebook something. I actually recently joined Prabhupada's group and Jayapataka Swami groups. I see them dancing. I told that day that I see them and I feel good. So I'm living one day at a time, Prabhuji.
Nice. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Hare
And
Krishna.
I think you're supporting me a lot, and I'm indebted, Prabhuji. Blessed. I'm
Thank you.
blessed by all my co-devotees. They
Thank
are
you.
taking me along. I'm
Thank
very
you,
happy,
Mataji.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Naresh Prabhu, you want to, how are you feeling? I mean, after hearing this, what's your feeling? What's the thoughts that are coming to your mind? Yes, and Valarmati Mataji also. I think you're both on the same phone.
Yeah, this materialistic world, nothing matters much other than Krishna. That's the realization I get.
Yeah, nothing matters much other than the reality, which is Krishna. Okay, nice, nicely summarized. Okay, thank you. Valarmati Mataji around?
Yeah, she's here.
You want to share your thoughts, Mataji?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I just listen and then nothing is
Later.
just Krishna is the permanent and eternal. Yeah, that's what my realization.
Okay,
Thank
thank you, Hare Krishna. Gangai Prabhu, you want to share something?
Prabhuji, see, these are so much things about the sufferings of human beings as they are edited. I think it is very, whatever it comes, we have to face it, and we have to come out of this completely. We have to realize self-realization. So really, it is felt so much things you explained. Thank you very much for being
Thank you,
there,
thank you.
Pranam.
Yeah, very nice point, Prabhu. We have to boldly face it, and we have to just equip ourselves with a helmet. Like, for example, we are not scared of driving. We just wear a helmet and drive, isn't it? So when you're driving in a car, you just put a belt and safety equipment and drive, isn't it? So
Yes,
like
sir.
that, it's just like that. So this self-realization, Krishna consciousness is like that. It's just like the basic safety gear. You can't go without it, and we'll be badly injured without it. Yes, thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Yes, Komala Mataji. Okay, Mataji, I think is not here. Okay, fine.
Hare Krishna
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna. Yes.
Yes, Prabhuji. Long way to go to realize self-realization. Yes, keeping small steps. Definitely, that's the purpose of life now. And yes, Prabhuji, see, now I really feel that I can feel that bliss, while attending these sessions. So earlier I used to just like it in the beginning, but now really I just love to listen. I love to read. And Prabhuji, another thing is I wanted to tell you about this Gita Lekana. I'm so much loving it to write, each and every line. I'm like, actually I'm writing 5 this one verses. They asked actually it only 2. So it's yes, very blissful. I really, when I write that, I can feel that spark inside me when I write, and I'm getting to know better. So it's like, see, once you read in the beginning, I think when we started the level 1 course, I could hardly make out. And then see, now so many classes, every time I get to learn something new. So that is very much, that progress is definitely giving me that happiness, Prabhuji. And I'm just loving it. Yes, definitely I want to go in this path of self-realization. And I look forward for your class, Prabhuji, your motivation. Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Prabhuji.
Mataji. Hare Krishna. So I am Prabha Mataji. You want to share something? Share your thoughts? Surekha Mataji. Manisha Mataji. Yes, I am Prabha Mataji. You want to share something? Unmute
Hare
your-
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Sorry, it got delayed in opening it.
No problem.
Yeah. Yeah, Prabhuji, after hearing yours and other morning Gita Gyan and other classes, I feel everything is in the hands of Krishna and we have to accept. And as you said, wear the helmet. So we have to consider Krishna as our helmet and offer everything to him and accept and lead the life.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Thank
Yes, thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Manisha Mataji, you want to say something?
Yes, Prabhuji, it is very nice to come in Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, we would not have known anything about self-realization and what is the main goal of our human life. After coming in Krishna consciousness, only we came to know. Otherwise, it would not have been known to us. So it is very good experience, Prabhuji. And Anadi Prabhu, I am so unfortunate I could not meet him. So even I go to say Vasa Angan only. So I feel very this thing. I could not meet him. Wanted to meet him.
I would say that in my life, if I've gained anything, okay, the main thing or the best thing, I'll say the best thing that I've gained in my life is association of Anadi Jain.
Yes,
Best.
Prabhuji. I have heard so much
I
about
very
him.
much
I'm so
cherish that.
unfortunate.
Yes, I very much cherish his association, whatever I got in the last years. It was very intense. It's very deep and it's very, very nice. It was very much helpful for me in my own journey. Okay, thank you, devotees. Hare Krishna will stop here.
Prabhuji, I have to tell you one silly